All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Let's see. Let's see. Whoa, we got how many people do we have? Okay, now there we go. There we go. Now I'm seeing these viewers popping up, popping up, popping up. Once you're in, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section that you're in, that you're good. Let's see here. Give me your name. I know we got a little lag and all that good stuff. That's okay. Come on. Welcome to Quarantine Chronicles, episode 2. Episode 2. All right, here we go. Here we go. We got Kalei. We got Jeremiah.
Yay.
We got, is that Anaya? Yep, we got Anaya. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
Anaya.
Here we go. We got Trin. Oh, this is good. This is good. Deja, Rakaya, Simone. Oh, I'm seeing some of the familiar faces. Well, I'm seeing some of the familiar names. Ashanti.
We miss y'all.
How are y'all? How are y'all doing?
Destiny, hey.
I feel like I feel y'all through the camera. I really do. I really do. Now, here's what I need y'all to do, okay? Before we get started, here's what I need y'all to do. I'm not going to call no names. Y'all know how PJ gets sometimes, but I won't do it, okay? But if you have a boo, if you got a bae, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to take this phone. I want you to be like, hey, babe, I really think you should watch this.
Uh-oh.
Now I know a lot of y'all probably like, PJ, I ain't got no bae. I ain't got whatever. Okay. But if you have a friend, and you're like, man, they just started dating so-and-so, or they just got out of a relationship, whatever the case may be, I want you to send this link to as many people as possible because we have a lot to talk about tonight. Yes. And tonight, we got some very, very, very special guests tonight. These two people, this couple, are probably some of our favorite people,
yes.
Like for real. If you all don't know, I think I talked about the story a little bit, but I literally would not be at All Nations if it wasn't for Pastor Jamal Miller. So I love that man so much. I've known him for mostly all of my adult life. So like ever since I was 16, I think I met him when I was 16. So I've literally known him for mostly all of my adult life. And his amazing wife, Natasha Miller, they are the CEOs and founders of Married and Young, and they are also pastors on staff at All Nations Worship Assembly. And they're here with us. And most of you do not know that Jamal Miller was youth pastor here at All Nations. He is the OG. He is the OG when it comes to like he changed the youth ministry game at All Nations. Like y'all need to know that he's the OG in youth ministry here. So him and his wife are with us. We're going to invite them in. They're here with us. So meet them.
What's up, y'all? We're excited to be here tonight with y'all. It's about to be on. I love it. Thank y'all so much for letting us be on with y'all. We appreciate it. We're excited.
This is about to be crazy. Whenever they get me and PJ together, it gets pretty good. So now we got me, Pastor Rocky, PJ, and Pastor Natasha. Like this is about to be crazy. All right, so you guys know how Quarantine Chronicles go. Just like it did last week, we are going to start off with a couple questions that were submitted. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Okay. Last week on the prophetic, y'all submitted so many questions.
So many.
Can I be a prophet? Am I a prophet? I mean, question after question after question. And then this week we was like, what y'all want to know about relationships? It was like, we only got like a couple questions, and then we had like some Nicodemuses ask questions super late, or like come out of nowhere and be like, yeah, I think I got a question. Like so we're gonna start off with some of those questions. if you have a question, don't be afraid to put it in the chat. Don't be afraid to put it in the chat. If you're like, man, my question is too crazy, my question is too out there, then don't be afraid to also DM us on Instagram and we'll ask the question anonymously. So you can also DM us on Instagram and we'll ask the question anonymously, okay? So definitely make sure that you're paying attention and that you put your questions in the chat. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat. Pastor Rocky will be keeping an eye on the chat. And then we'll make sure that those questions get asked to Pastor Jamal and Natasha Miller. So to get us started real quick, they could do a whole movie on their story. But just so that we can get to know you guys a little bit better, us a little bit about how you guys met, how long you've been married, your amazing business, your 2 children, all that good stuff. Let us know a little bit about yourselves.
Okay, yes. So we will be celebrating 7 years of marriage this year, July 27th. And we have 2 beautiful daughters, Hardest and Melody. And so our love story, yes, it is very interesting, very different. We actually met on Facebook. I added Jamal, I think in like 2012, I just added him as a friend. We ended up communicating back and forth. No, it wasn't 2000. It was 2009. I added him as a friend. We started communicating in 2012. I was actually in California and he was here in Chicago. So we started communicating, getting to know one another. And yeah, he proposed to me in January of 2013. And then we got married in July of 2013. So we had a pretty short engagement. But we knew, just from the moment we met and we're communicating and spending time, we both knew we wanted marriage in the future. So I think that's, something that really helped us like in our journey of dating, because we knew that, okay, we're not dating one another just because it's fun or I think he's cute and he thinks I'm cute. We really had an end goal in mind.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a pretty crazy journey for us. Like Natasha said, both being single and, really falling in love with God first.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've always kind of had that story that's like people look at it like, oh my God, it's I wish I had that story and all those different things. But no matter what, like what we've learned just even through our story is that marriage is no joke, no matter what.
No matter
you know what I'm saying? And so that's why it's very important to do the necessary work before you get married, in order to make sure that you are fully ready for what marriage requires. But our story, we're excited tonight to be able to share more details. But overall, we met on Facebook. We're long distance for a quite period of time. And then Natasha moved to Chicago, and now we are, doing
happily married.
So 7 years of marriage.
Yes.
But what gets me, and I know that a lot of our saints on social, on the chat here probably caught they met on social media.
100%.
It's so possible.
So you mean to tell me that it's okay to slide in the DMs?
100%. So, I mean, you definitely have to be ready, you know, to take on what you are, dishing out in regards to like too much is given, much is required. So if you're going to be sliding in DMs, you better be ready to, we used to tell the folks all the time. I mean, if you are a young person, marriage needs to be within, I would say, at least a year to 2 years range if you're going to be dating with purpose. I don't believe you should be dating longer than 2 years. And so it's because it gets very challenging as a believer to be able to date for a long period of time and still remain pure. It's very challenging. And so the biggest thing there is like, if it's far away, you know what I'm saying? Like where your readiness for marriage. But when I slid in her DMs, I was ready to get married. Like I was in a season where marriage was something that I was very serious about.
And then even me responding, to his message, because I'm sure there's probably, some teenagers in here to where like they've received a DM, from a guy like, hey girl, whatever. And for me, like, even before meeting him, I had also gotten DMs and they were just very short, like, hey, what's your name? Or, hey, what's your number? But when he sent me that message, he was very direct. He was very clear. with his intentions of like, hey, I've seen what you're doing. I want to get to know you. So I think that's also a good sign of knowing, hey, if this person is stating their intentions, they look clear, you know what I mean? Then you could, proceed.
Now, I think you guys brought up a valid or an interesting point that I think that'll be our first kind of diving question or to kind of get into this. You guys talked about how if you're not ready to date, or if you don't date with a purpose, that it could be very dangerous. Let's park there for a second, because we have people in the chat who are people a part of NY Youth who are 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, even 18 years old. And is it possible to date with purpose, with the intentionality of marriage at that age?
You know what? I mean, I'm not going to box it in, I would just say that it comes down to priorities, right? And the biggest thing is not saying that you can't do it. It's more, is marriage a priority in that season of your life, to where you would say this is important, like laying out what are the most important goals, because marriage is a goal, right? These are my 3 to 4 to 5 goals that I have for my life. And if you are 13, 14, 15 years old, first thing is laying out what are the goals that are priority. And then you need to know you cannot accomplish all of those priorities at once. You can probably do maybe 1 or 2. So that's where you kind of got, I'm not going to sit here and just tell you, oh, absolutely not, right? But I will say, because I mean, there are people that definitely date in high school. And am I going to tell you that you're in sin? No, I'm not going to say that you're not in sin. You can grow, learn, all those different things. But you got to know, if you're spending time in a relationship, spending time doing that, what are you not spending time on, right? And one of the things the Lord challenged me in high school with was, hey, right now, I want you to lay a solid foundation with me. I want you to make me a priority. And one of the things, and this was just off the cuff of my youth pastor challenging us. He said, hey, I dare y'all, I was a junior in high school, 16 years old. He's like, I dare y'all to not date your entire high school career and season, and see what happens with your life, right? And like 7 of us out of like 300 young people, 7 of us said, I'll do it. I know, he got the 7, just the overachievers, the Jesus lovers, that we committed. And the thing is, the moment that we signed that dotted line to commit to that little challenge of not dating our entire, when I tell you, I started having crushes on everybody in the youth group. I was like, oh, hey, you know what? She is kind of cute. I mean, as soon as I made that commitment, I was like, oh, dang, I made this commitment. And so it was really crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I will tell you, like, it really forced me to evaluate what was important to me. Like, period. It was like, is this really important, or am I just doing it because now I can't do it? I'm saying it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you can't, but I will tell you that I survived. And then I think the next thing after learning how to say no to relationships, I remember God challenging me to no TV for 2 months. Like, when you learn how to say no to stuff and you build up that ability to delay gratification, which is something I believe is a lost art for this generation, learning how to say no because we want everything right now. Not only will that make you successful in relationships, that'll make you successful in money. It'll make you successful in school. It'll make you successful in every area of your life if you learn how to delay gratification and say no to things right now in order to be able to inherit it later at a better time.
Yeah, and we are.
Sorry, that was a whole sermon.
I just want to add real quick that we are advocates for, people dating, because I know too that even for me growing up, I grew up in that era where it was just like, you just need to date one person and that person needs to be your husband, right? And, be that good Christian girl and do it that way, to where it put this, pressure on women. And now being married and looking back, I'm like, you know what? There is nothing wrong with going out with different men or different women who have the same convictions as you, who desire marriage in the future. And maybe, they're, not completely perfect, but, so I would also just want people to know that, like, you don't have to be afraid of that world because you're not, quote unquote prepared. It's more how you do it, who you do it with, who you bring into the process, who are you accountable to, and all of those things.
Now they just brought a whole lot bunch of stuff. Like I mean, we okay. So we gotta backtrack, y'all. Yeah. Y'all know that note takers are history makers, so I need y'all to take these notes because they just dropped some nuggets, like a ton of them. I think you hi Jamal.
Say hi to everybody.
BJ, I think you brought up a very interesting. You started off with priorities. You have to ensure that those priorities are there. And then you brought up the idea of delayed gratification. Now, I know that might sound like a big term for some people, something they don't really know, but it is simply being able to say,
not right now.
And I think that at the time of her life, especially
you know exactly what she's doing too.
Right, especially in high school. I feel like sometimes, because I saw somebody in the chat say, but I'm lonely. I feel like sometimes, you know, we feel like if I don't pursue this happiness now, I'll never be happy again in my life. Yeah. And it's a matter of your trust in God. Do you trust God enough to give you what you want, the desires of your heart, if you give him what he wants, and that is first place in your heart.
Yeah.
And that priority piece is so important. But then again, Natasha brought up a very compelling point when she talked about if you're going to do it, this is key. I want y'all to pay attention to this. If you're going to do it, make sure you're doing it with the right person. Like if you're going to date, make sure you are dating someone who is worth your time, who's worth building with, who's gonna give to you. A lot of y'all, a lot of us, I know I can. A lot of us can look down that line of people that we dated and be like, that was a waste of time. Okay, like that person didn't do anything for me. They didn't help me. And so I think that those are two key points that you have to keep and you have to understand, guys, is that number one, you have to make sure that your priorities are there. You have to write that down. Make sure that use this, like this time in high school, use this time to get your priorities in order. Yeah. Set some goals, set some aspirations. You know, what do you want to do? And then if you're gonna do it, make sure you're doing it with the right person.
Yeah.
What do you think, Pastor Ross?
No, I totally understand it. I think that a lot of the conversations we even have, like with some of the girls, is that even during this time, there's a lot of like loneliness that they feel and almost like a void that needs to be filled. And a lot of, I know that a lot of our youth and our young friends on here, I'm not going to say any names or anything like that. We are actually in friendships with certain people of the opposite sex. And then there's an attraction that kind of grows in right there. And then it kind of starts to shift from friendship to something more. And then they want to pursue that. But normally when that happens, I'm seeing like the trend of letdown, like it not going the way that they intended for it to go, because of the fact that they wanted to fill a void instead of like having purpose for that relationship.
Yeah.
And so I think to piggyback off of that, my next question to you guys, because I'm seeing it, I'm seeing a few comments in here about this. My next question would be, if we are, let's say, you know, we're in high school, and I think we have to also be realistic. We have to be honest. You know, social media plasters love, relationships, being booed up, bait up, all that. It plasters it all in our faces, like 24/7, and it plays with our emotions. I get it. So if we're a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old in high school, number one, how do we know that we're ready to even start to try, you know, to date? And then number two, how do we know that person is worth our time? Like, how do we know that person is worth us even trying to date them?
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things, I mean, just when it comes to being ready to be in a relationship, I really do believe you cannot just rely on your own self. Like, we all are in this position, what we call having blind spots. And blind spots is when you're driving, you know, you have a blind spot in your rearview mirror that you can't see. The only person that can see it is the person that's in your passenger seat. They can see who's in your blind spot. And that principle can be applied to dating, where I do believe that you should have people in the car with you in your life, certain from a leader to friends, who can see your blind spots so that you do not get into a crash when you are on. Because the thing is when you are quote unquote in a relationship, what you're deciding to do is to then drive alongside somebody. Y'all not in the same car yet. Y'all just decided, hey, let's see if we're headed in the same direction, to see if I should invite you into my car, which is where you get invited into the car, is now you becoming one for eternity, for a lifetime. So when you are in a 2-car situation, you know, and this person's driving next to you, you've got to have somebody in the car with you already, that's already in covenant, that's already committed to helping you make it to your end. That's a leader, a parent, a friend. Because I'm looking at, have you already shown the ability to be committed in relationships that don't have anything to do with I love you, I want you, you beautiful, you good, ooh, I like your, ooh, I like that about you, I like this about you.
You tell me we can't be secretive with our relationships?
See, the thing is like, I believe this is what it's called. When you are in secretive relationships, it's me, myself, and the devil. All right. The moment that you are allowing yourself to be in something that's in the dark, that's where the devil prowls. The devil is going to prowl. He is the God of darkness. He's the God of deception. So when you are entering into a secretive relationship, it's me, myself, and the devil, because you are being deceived 100%, because you're not allowing anybody else, especially God, into that relationship. So the moment that there's secrets and there's all that stuff brewing up, that is a drawing place for the enemy, because he's now going to be able to use that against you and have power against you, because you're not allowing anybody else into that relationship.
And that's, this season of your guys' life is so instrumental to your future. So the thing is like right now, the enemy would love to come in and pervert. He would love to damage. He would love for you to experience, betrayal at the hands, of a boyfriend, or at the hands of a friend, to where when you get, out of your mom's house and you're in college, you're clogged down with all of the hurt and the pain and all of the secretiveness, that you are unable to truly recognize what real love looks like. So right now is the perfect time to, okay, even his example of the car, having leaders in there, having safe places in there, so that they're able to show you, hey, you know what? You've been spending a lot of time with him, and I haven't seen you in your word. You've been, talking differently since you've been around this person. What's going on? Like, your character is changing, so that, because the thing is that right now, it's okay to build a friendship with someone. It's okay to build a friendship, but at the same time, Jesus needs to be the center. He should be getting your emotions. He should be getting your grievances, because a 17-year-old boy, he's still growing, like he's still learning. So what I would encourage is get connected to the source. I know you probably hear this from your mom. I'm sure your pastors tell you, and you're like, come on, like I want to go have fun. I'm telling you, you will have fun. Fun is with Jesus. But the only thing that's been able to sustain us, and even your pastors, is that they had that foundation of like, okay, my identity is not found in who I'm sleeping with, who's calling me, or whatever. It's found in Jesus. So having that foundation, you guys, is so pivotal to having that healthy marriage, that healthy relationship.
Who is in your car?
Yeah, it's good, baby.
Like who is in your car? I think they both hit the nail on the head. Like, oh man, y'all just hit.
And like, not only do you look at who's in your car, but who's in their car.
Yeah.
So who are the people that they're committed to? Who are the people that they are connected to? Who are their friends? Who are their leaders? So I'm all about this, man. Like, here's the thing, and it's really hard to look at it like this when you're so quote unquote, in the beginning, season of your life, is when you're dating someone and getting to know someone, until the ring is on their finger, they could be somebody else's spouse. Right now, somebody could be dating your spouse right now. How do you want that person treating your spouse that you got to encounter in the next 5, 7, 8 years? You're going to have to take the broken pieces, that the person that they right now getting broke, all this bad stuff. That's why you need to be praying for your future spouse right now. Praying and believing God that they're doing the stuff that you are desiring to do it right. What are the things that you want your future spouse doing right now? Do you want them out here sleeping around, out here bouncing from relationship to relationship? Or do you want them in the face of God, learning him, serving him, and beginning to grow in him and staying away from all that kind of stuff? So that when they find you, you got something to give to them versus giving them brokenness, you're giving them beauty, right? Like you've got to determine now what kind of person you want to give your future spouse. That's what happened to me. The night that I was about to give my virginity up, I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. I mean, when I tell you it was real, mama went to the grocery store. I was like, we got 10 minutes. If it's going to go down, it's about to go down right now. I said, we got 10 minutes. All right. I just, I'm saying, the scene enough movies, I think I figured it out. And I remember that present moment, boy. It wasn't Netflix and chill, y'all. It was VHS and chill. That's how long ago it was, right? VHS and chill. Actually, I was setting up her blog. That's what I was doing.
You was already in it.
I was setting up her Zanga. That's how. Oh, it wasn't even MySpace yet. It wasn't Facebook. Wasn't even invented yet. It was Zanga. Does anybody, y'all? I mean, when I tell y'all, Zanga, Xanga, Zanga account, right? So I was like, we got 10 minutes, and I remember the present moment, man, when things begin to brew up. Y'all use y'all's imagination. I had this. I mean, when I tell you, I left my body for a moment, and the Lord took me to my wedding day and said, are you going to give this woman something now that you're supposed to give her? Well, I couldn't see the person at that point, but I just knew it wasn't her. Or are you going to, sacrifice this thing? I can't remember, the exact terminology basically was, are you going to live for me or are you going to compromise? And y'all, when I tell you, man, just the conviction hit my heart so heavy. Dang, I have the opportunity right now to save this gift for the woman who deserves it, or I can give it away to someone that I'm about to do a quickie with. And yeah, a lot of people, it's kind of hard to hear that story because some of you tonight may have already given your gift away. But the beauty is with Jesus, is that Jesus will give you the gift back. And that's how good our God is. But at the end of the day, sex is a gift that I truly do believe should only be given to the one that pays the price. When Jesus died on the cross for your sins, he paid the price. He didn't just say, I love you with his words. He said, I love you with his actions. And so in that moment, that girl didn't do nothing to deserve my gift. And I know dudes are always like, bro, I want to smash. When I tell you, every time I tell the story, dudes come up to me, teenagers, be like, bro, I'm sorry, I ain't you, And but the reality is it's a two-way street. Guys, you a gift, bro. Girls, you a gift. A lot of times purity message is only for girls. It'd be like, girls, keep your purity, girls, keep your purity. Don't be careful. That all the boys want sex.
Right.
Dudes, listen to me. You a gift too, bro. Your sexuality is a gift. There's a woman that's going to want all of you. And so I think that's the thing, man. That place is so important about really just having conviction from the Holy Spirit. That's the thing that will keep you more than trying to do it all yourself. Because when I tell you, you can't do it by yourself. It's impossible.
So this is getting really, really good. These comments is going crazy right now. They are loving the transparency, loving the stories. I want to hit something real quick because I saw a few comments concerning this, and I know that and then we're going to double back to this, but I know that this is something that you all can speak to, because I saw a few comments talking about social media couples. They, seeing the social media couples and seeing them in love, in their videos, seeing them all happy, so hard because I be in my feelings when I see them all happy and kissing and doing their videos and they having so much fun. And that's just hard for me to see that because I want that in my life. Speak to not being deceived by social media couples, YouTube couples, putting what you want out there, not showing the real stuff, because I think that that comparison, seeing the videos and all that good stuff, even the oh, we got into it videos, like those aren't even real, so speak to that because I saw a lot of comments in here about how hard the social media couples make it and how they make them feel like they want to be in a relationship.
Yeah, it's really real because I mean, even just for my husband and I, with us in our business and what we've built, it's very easy to fall into that trap of performing and coming out as if, oh my gosh, you guys are taking these pictures, you look great, and just kind of even giving off that aura that everything is perfect. And the thing is like when, social media is a huge distraction, okay? Because the thing is that, social media is not real life, you guys, even though Pastor Jamal was talking about the videos they'll have of people getting into it. At the end of the day, what really happens behind the scenes is stuff you wouldn't want to put on video. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff you wouldn't want to put on social media. So I think it's very important, especially in this season of your life, of really beginning to see, okay, who do I want to become? What do I want to give my attention to? So it may be that you may need to go people. You may have to go through your YouTube channel and unfollow certain, trigger videos and stuff like that. You may have to even delete your Snapchat, whatever it is, to be able to preserve and protect your mind and also protect your peace. Because the thing is even what the Lord ministered to me, even early on in my marriage, is that, Natasha, you have to cultivate your garden. And I'm sure that even Pastor Rocky, as a wife, can even identify with this. Is like, at the end of the day, your life is your life. And what you sow into your life is what you will reap. What you sow into your relationship, what you sow into your marriage is what you will reap. So the thing is like, instead of getting distracted by what other people are building, because when you're putting your attention on that, your life is suffering. You're not able to be focused on what you're supposed to be doing because you're going to be looking at everybody else. So I think it's just very important to even verbalize what you want. Like, again, what Pastor Jamal was talking about your future. What are your future goals? Let's say you're like, man, I don't want to be distracted. I want to go to college after I'm 18 years old, or I want to go, do certain things. So what is that cost? What is that cost? The thing is like, whatever, you, in order to get the things that you want, and even the things that the Lord has even, revealed to you, or even, said to you prophetically, it's not going to come easy. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to say no. So that's my add to that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the biggest thing there when it comes to social media is the comparison is a killer. And I can tell you now, like Natasha said, it's not real. Couples really do have to put up their highlight reels. And
it's a business too. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It does get it to where they're going after views. They're going after likes. And so you have to know behind the scenes, like, that's why we tell people all the time, please go find a real couple that you can rock with. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop being impressed by fake perfection and find you a real couple that's going through real issues and ask them real questions so that you can have a realistic view of marriage. Because what we find a lot of people have is they have a Hollywood view of marriage, and the Hollywood view of marriage is going to set you up. I'm gonna turn it down, okay? It's going to set you up for failure because it's not realistic. So I mean, that's the piece there, man. On social media, it's not a game at all.
it's definitely not. And I think that Pastor Natasha brought up something that I don't think a lot of people are okay with doing, but a lot of times it's necessary. It's hitting that unfollow button.
Yeah.
Hitting that unfollow button. When me and Pastor Rocky were in our dating phase, right before I got married to Pastor Rocky, I went on a huge social media detox. Like, I completely got off. I deleted all social media from my phone. Like, I had to be focused on her and what I was about to do. Like, I got off for months. It was I think it was about half a year that I was off of social media, maybe longer, that I was off of social media. And when I got back on, I unfollowed a ton of people. I unfollowed a ton of businesses that like did couple stuff or talked about couples. I unfollowed a whole bunch of women that like I just knew from high school, stuff like that, but I really didn't need them on my page. Like what I following? I did a ton of unfollowing, unsubscribing, like getting rid of distractions and things that you could possibly compare yourself to. And I think you have to understand about social media because it can be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, I definitely agree. My question to you guys is, how would you tell this generation, our youth, how would you tell them to avoid falling into comparison with that? Like, it's hard to say, don't go on Instagram. And
Yeah.
you tell them to stop unfollowing, we understand, like, especially during quarantine, like we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, yeah, we're following people, videos and all of that stuff. Is there a certain extent to where we see something or follow something and it's like, no, this is too much, we shouldn't follow it? Or should we just like start unfollowing everything? Like, what would you guys say?
I have like like for me, the thing that I try to use and teach people is that there's two ways you can kind of rock it, right? You can either let it infect you or inspire you. And so you have to ask that question, is this post inspiring me or infecting me? And infecting me is it's making me think something negative or less about myself versus making me think more and challenging me to be a better person and to grow. Like, you've got to, social media needs to be redeemed, because the reality is that the enemy's using it and you've got to redeem it for, this is a good place for me to get inspired, to grow closer to my God. Because at the end of the day, what's going to be the biggest challenge is this bringing glory to God in my life, period. And that's everything that you do. So social media, is it inspiring me? Man, when I saw that couple, that inspired me. One day, I can't wait to have a happy marriage. Man, that inspired me. When I saw that kid, making $1 million, that inspired me. One day I could make $1 million. Or are you getting jealous? Are you getting envious? And it's not, I wouldn't even blame social media. You got to blame your flesh and say, dang, let me check me real quick.
Yeah.
Why did I just let that thing infect me? What is it revealing in me that it's infecting me like that? It ain't social media fault. That's the flesh. Something is not right. Something in you needs to be dealt with. So it's like, yes, because you can 100% block social media, but stop being on social media. But guess what? Something else gonna reveal that issue or that problem. And so, like, I'm not even gonna sit here and tell you that social media is the problem. I know a lot of people want to blame social media. No, the thing is, it's just revealing some truths that we need to deal with.
I think that's really really good. We got some more questions on. I think we'll take a couple more questions on the whole partner spouse thing, but I also want to take this conversation somewhere else that I think that a lot of times we overlook and we don't put enough focus on. So I know Pastor Rocky has a question.
I just got this question in. What if someone is direct and forward with you about their intentions for relationship, marriage, the future, etc., and you have known them for years, but you want to focus on you, but also want to be with them, but don't think this is the right time? What would you say to this person?
I would say to him, because it seems like she is interested in him. It's just that it's not the right season for her. So I would say, you know, like the best thing to do is be honest and let him know that, hey, you know what, I'm flattered. Like, wow, like I really, you know, see us being together in the future. But right now, like that's not a focus of mine. And I would say if he's willing, you know what I'm saying, like to wait for you for when that season is right, then oh my gosh, that's amazing. But also be aware that he may, you know, say no, he's not willing to wait. So I think it's more understanding that, you know what, like this is what is valuable to me, and whoever I'm going to be with in the future, like they're going to be able to honor that and understand that, and be able to support me in that. So I think being honest is the best thing, because it sounds like she knows what she wants. She knows what season God has her in. So it's just a matter of communicating that to him, and giving him the choice to either wait or move on.
Now let me throw this in here. Okay, we're gonna be a little honest.
Uh-huh.
Okay, because Pastor Rocky and I were in a similar situation.
What?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you 2 pieces of wisdom here. Number one, the right person in the wrong time can make that person the wrong person.
Yeah.
I got that little piece of wisdom from our pastor, Dr. Matthew Stevenson. Okay? The right person in the wrong time or at the wrong time can make that person the wrong person. That's the first thing I want you to understand. So if you feel like it's not the right time, then that person being the right person, you can actually make them the wrong person if you start something with them at the wrong time. Okay, that's the first. The second thing is I totally agree that you need to be honest. You need to be honest, like Pastor Natasha said, but you need to be honest in your words and in what you do, boo.
Yeah, true.
Let me pop right here, because a lot of y'all be like, it's not the time, but then you still sitting up on the phone caking.
Yeah.
All day, every day. You still going out your way to see them. You're still, listen, intimacy is shared through information.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying it's not the right time, yet you're still intimate with information, you're making it the right time.
Yeah.
So if you're saying it's not the right time, but you up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning on the phone with them, you're making it the right time. If you're saying it's not the right time, but this person is still the first person you go to when you get mad or upset, and you get to them and you sharing your emotions and sharing your feelings, you are still intimately like close to them, and you're making it the right time. So you have to be very careful and make sure that if you're going to say it's not the right time, you need to not only say it with your words, but also say it with your actions. You have to do both, because if you don't, you're putting yourself in a very, very dangerous spot. That's right. You got anything to say? Because you.
No, and it's super hard, even based off of the relationship, even based on the question, it seemed like they have been friends for a long time. When you develop a relationship with somebody, even if it's platonic, it's still hard to kind of separate from that, because that's what you know. You're used to talking to this person, you're used to building with this person. But it is very important, just like Pastor Jamal just said, if it's the wrong time, then it's the wrong person. And no matter how hard you're going to try to make it work, and no matter how hard, and I feel like this even goes into this question that someone posted.
Yeah, that was going to be my next one.
Okay, cool.
No, you can go.
So the next question was, when you hear someone is potentially your spouse, how do you know it's God versus your mind? And, you know,
who told you that?
Right.
Who told you that? Who told you somebody was
But yeah, I mean, the same thing like applies even you know, building that relationship and like thinking that this person is your spouse. You need to make sure you're in the will of God. And I feel like even determining or discerning whether that person, whether it's God or whether it's your flesh, is through prayer and through like listening to yourself. A lot of times we like to think that prayer is cliche, and because we don't hear anything back audibly or anything like that, then we'll just forget it or just chalk it up to just being our flesh. But I believe that if you take that time out to meditate and seek God about it, he'll answer, whether it's through a dream, whether it's audibly, or whether it's through the way that he's leading you.
Now, and Pastor Rocky just brought up a very valid point, and this ties perfectly. Oh my gosh, the preacher in me just loves this, into our sermon series for this month. Because if you have the Holy Ghost, oh my God, that's how you know. Some of y'all, how do I know it's my season? How do I know they won? The Holy Ghost talks, okay? He talks and he will tell you if you ask. A prime example, y'all. I never would have met this. Well, I would have met her, but I wouldn't have seen her the way I needed to see her if the last person I talked to, I asked her, I was like, we were kind of talking and it was getting weird. And I was like, Lord, if this is not supposed to happen, I want you to blow it up. I literally said that. I was like, blow it up. Like, if this is not supposed, I didn't want to be in the wheel. Like, if I wasn't in the wheel, I didn't want it to happen. Now, I knew I wasn't supposed to be talking to that person. I knew that, but still, sometimes we like to lie. We like to be like, Lord, I don't know. I can't see. So I was like, Lord, if this is not you, blow it up. Y'all, when I tell you that girl fell off the face of the earth, I ain't never, like, when I tell you, it was like, boom, just gone. Like, just
because
gone.
it was both of our prayers too. And like, I mean, we both were filled with the Holy Spirit, but like, we were able to like know that it was God. And that's how I vanished, because I'm like, oh God, like, I'm not supposed to be doing, okay, cool. Like,
and
bye.
I think for me, like a couple weeks after I had prayed that prayer, it was about a month or so after that, was the first time I had ever saw her. So it's like, I probably would have missed that opportunity if I was distracted by a relationship, by a relationship that I was not supposed to be in. So a lot of these questions can simply be answered by you going to God in prayer and saying, God, should I be doing this? And then listening for his answer. Don't ask the question and then be like, woo, all right, I asked. Okay, I don't know. Well, no, you have to ask and then listen for the answer. Because sometimes you ask and he'd be like, no, you're not supposed to. You be like, huh? Did you say something? Did you say it? Yeah. Like, no, you have to listen for what the answer is. So I hope that answers something. Okay, but I want to get into this other part of this conversation, because I remember what high school was like for me. Okay, now PJ got a great story. PJ was in that house and God showed him a vision, and PJ said, I can't do it.
You got a different, both of their names are Pastor Jamal.
I'm sorry.
They're both Pastor Jamal.
The OG. The OG. PG1 and PG2. That's
PJ1.
PJ1. I'm thinking of Paul George, the basketball player. PJ1 and PJ2. PJ1. So PJ1, had the story of God spoke to him, and he saw the vision. And his relationship with God was so much so to where he trusted God enough to make that decision. I ain't see no vision, okay? And I ain't hear no voice. The only voice I heard was my own, all right? And it led me astray, okay? So but here's what I want to get into, Pastor Jamal and Natasha. Before I even got there, right? Before I even got to sex, there were things that I was doing that made it easier for me to make that fall in that moment. So we're going to masturbation, phone sex, porn, sending nudes, like all of that was pre-sex. And I think that we have to understand that those things affect our purity as well.
Yeah.
So I want to get your thoughts on those type of things, because those are all things that we're introduced to and that we experience during that high school, middle school time frame.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to realize, right, when it comes to sex, that sex is like fire, okay? And it's something that definitely, has to be in a protected confinement, something that can be enjoyed.
Yeah.
That can be used to warm you up. If it's not controlled, that thing can become dangerous. The very thing that can be used when it's protected can then, whenever it is not protected, can be destructive. But the thing that you've got to look at is what feeds the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that when it comes to not only you not having protect the confinement of the fire, but then realizing what protects the fire, not protects, feeds the fire, is all the stuff that you do leading up to that moment, right? Before the fire goes, whatever. But the thing is, so when you comes down to it, like for me that night when I told you about my story about me, I'm about to lose my virginity, leading up to that, me and that young lady had already sent pictures. I had already been doing the other stuff leading up to all that moment. She already so much
all the time.
is like, no, we had sent pictures. We was out here, doing all kind of sneaky stuff leading up to that moment. It wasn't just one night. I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead.
Right.
No, we had already done all the stuff. Pornography was involved. So like the thing is that you are building up and feeding that fire to where that fire is going to get to a point to where you can't control it. And then the moment that it gets to a point that you can't control it, you're going to do something that you regret, because you may think, oh, this ain't that, it's not that bad. It's just a little, I'm just lighting a firework. It's not nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't understand that you're lighting that firework around dry land where you don't have protection. You don't have the proper boundaries and the proper maturity to control that little bitty thing that you think is no big deal. Because that's usually how it starts. Oh, it's no big deal. It's not a problem. It's small. I can control it right now. But that's going to lead to a moment where you can't control it. And then that's when it gets destructive. And then eventually somebody gets hurt, you or someone else. So you've got to look at the little stuff that you're doing, like all the little stuff, the pornography, even on Instagram. That's softcore porn. You just scrolling through. That's softcore porn, man. At the end of the day, we got to softcore porn, right? If you out here getting aroused on Instagram, if you out here, all that stuff, right? You're opening the door. Masturbation, y'all in the Bible. The reality is that there's no way for you to masturbate and not think about something sexually. So just like, so I remember for me as a teenager, I was like, God, can I please pee it out, Lord? Pee it out, God. We got the babies here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Lord, can it just come out, Lord, the right way? Father, pee it out, God, please. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm praying some crazy, bro. Like, Lord, I ain't gonna make it, God. I ain't gonna make it. Please, Lord, can you just let it come on out through the other way? You know what I'm saying? And so the reality is, y'all, I know it's real. I know, and especially if you tasted and seen, it's even more real, because the withdrawal after you've tasted and seen of that side, and that's what I'm saying. For those who are virgins, please stay away. If you're not a virgin, you're gonna have to work really hard to stay away from all those things. As we tell people that have been in relationships where they've gone all the way, you and that significant other have to have boundaries immediately in the very beginning, because how fast things go when you've gotten used to already doing something easily. So all those things, man, the question is, if you're saying yourself it's not a big deal, then you already are in trouble.
And one thing I want to add really quickly, because I unfortunately have to leave in a few minutes, but emotional purity, okay? Like, that's a real thing, because the thing is like, yes, sex, it's also like a physical act, but as well, it's an emotional connection as well. So if you're, like Pastor Jamal was saying, if you're on the phone with a guy or a woman all night, you guys are talking all night, whenever you're having an issue at school or issue with your parents, you're running to them instead of running to God or running to a pastor or running to a leader, right? Then that can begin to create an unhealthy relationship, to where one day you're at his house telling him about a bad day you had, and then you end up having sex because you both know each other inwardly. So I think it's just very important for us to protect our hearts, because for me, y'all, I did that when I was like 18, 19 with, a guy, and I was just being me, sharing my thoughts. I looked at him as like a big brother. He would help me go to work. He would take me out to dinner. I'm like, okay, he's like a big brother to me. And then one day he calls me and he's like, Natasha, I'm in love with you. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm over here just thinking you a big brother, So the thing is like, we really have to guard our hearts, state our intentions, protect our time, protect your space, value who you are, value what you give, what God says to you, who you are, and becoming as a woman and as a man, it's valuable. And everyone doesn't deserve to have access to those parts of your heart right now, So emotional purity is key, because you can still have emotional sex. You can still have physical sex, oral sex. there's different forms of it. And yeah.
Ooh, Jesus.
So that's really important to me, because I'm like, that's how a lot of stuff happens where you're like, and then you end up doing it with someone you're not even attracted to. They just, so you really want to protect that.
I mean, look like a thumb.
You're like, what?
See, but here's what I need for everybody to understand. Information is where it starts. Sex does not start in a bed. It don't start in the backseat of a car. It don't start on the couch. It don't start on the futon. It don't start on the floor. Sex starts with a conversation. Always. When you share information, you are giving access to your heart. Intimacy is what's sexy. Information is what's sexy. I'm telling you, it's exactly why you can see some of the most uncommon couples. I mean, one of them just looked like a foot and the other one looks amazing. And you're like, how are they together? It's intimacy, information, how this person makes me feel, how this person accepts me or not. You have to understand that the information you give a person is important. And some of you are giving people access that do not deserve it. You're giving people, y'all can't just be telling anybody everything. Y'all can't just be venting to anybody, giving anybody your feelings, giving anybody your emotions. And then some of y'all, as long as the dude say, dang, that's crazy. He understand me like I never heard. So, and some of y'all need to listen, because I used to be it. And I'm not going to call out some of my guys on here that I know do it consistently. But some dudes just know what to say. Like they don't care. They just know what to say. And because we don't have those outlets, because we don't have the right people in our car, we just need somebody to listen. And we fall for it every single time. I really want y'all to understand this information piece. You have to be careful who you give information to. That's where intimacy starts. Yeah. For me and Pastor Rocky, you even have to be careful what you talk about. Me and Pat, we were literally just joking about this the other day, and we can because we're married now. But like Pastor Rocky was better than me. Okay, I still had a little residue on me. Okay, I was out here in the world doing stupid, crazy stuff. So I thought, I just, whatever. Okay, like when we first started talking, like I was like, okay, she say she saved, she say she know the Lord. I done heard that before, all right. but like when I tell you, Pastor Rocky would be like, no, we're not talking about that. No, we're not. Can you change your voice? Okay, thank you. We don't need you. Okay, so, don't be trying to go deep voice on me and everything. That's right. Okay. And for the longest time, like we did not FaceTime, we wouldn't see each other. Like you have to have boundaries, and you have to respect yourself enough to stick to those boundaries. Now, was our walk perfect? Absolutely not. Like we didn't have sex before marriage, but it was still hard for us because we shared so much information. Like we were best friends, and we literally built an amazing friendship, but that built a deep love for each other. And if that would have happened with the wrong person, it would have been destructive.
Or even if it would have happened in the wrong season as well.
In the wrong season.
So
it would have been destructive.
This would have been nothing. Yeah. If it would have happened in the wrong season.
But I really want you guys to understand that. And even with this point of porn, masturbation, oral sex, all that good stuff, you guys have to understand that things like specifically with porn, because this is something that I struggled with for a long time. With porn, Pastor Natasha has to go, guys. Everybody say bye, Pastor Natasha.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much, Pastor Jamal and Pastor Rocky. I had fun with you guys. Love y'all.
Thank you. Love you too. Specifically with this porn piece, I struggled with porn for years. Like porn, like I it got to the point to where I literally could not sleep unless I watched porn. Like I couldn't sleep, and it was bad. And this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's something that both guys and girls struggle with.
Definitely.
Let's be, guys ain't the only ones watching porn. Okay, lesbian porn. Let's just take it out. Let's just go out there. Okay, you too scared to do it on your own, but you'll watch two other girls do it. Let's just pull the sheet off. Let's be honest. Okay, all right. And so, but what you have to understand is, porn is one of those things that shows you where your desires are. Because for me, I always ran to porn in moments of stress. You have to be like, it was if it was a stressful day, or if I was frustrated, or if I was tired, instead of going to God and giving my feelings and expressing how I felt and asking for strength, asking for clarity, instead of doing that, I ran to porn. I ran to masturbation. And what that did was porn created an ideal of sex in my head that wasn't realistic. Because porn is like social media. It's fake. Mm-hmm. It's fake. Sex is a form of worship intended for married couples. It's a way for them to worship God. God created sex. Sex is good. It's not bad. Sex is good in the right timing, in the right season, and within marriage. It is good. But the enemy wants to destroy your worship by getting the wrong idea of sex in your head. And that's what porn does for you. That's what masturbation does for you. It messes with the idea or the creation of worship in your head. Just like you lift your hands and you sing, sex is just like that. It's worship done right. It's worship. Within the context of marriage, it is worship. But it's also worship outside of the context of marriage. It's just worshiping the wrong thing. It's worshiping your flesh. It's worshiping your desires. It's worshiping that person. It's worshiping that feeling. So you have to ask yourself what it is you're doing. Now we're coming to the end, but Pastor Rocky, do you have anything on that?
No,
that
like
piece?
it's I know, speaking as a woman, it's so easy to enter into services or enter into like talks where porn and masturbation is directed towards the men, but we too, girls, like we go through the same thing. I used to struggle with the same thing. Now for me, it was different because I was more saved, so I would watch more things that weren't necessarily like completely X-rated and stuff like that, just because I felt like, oh, this is better than watching porn. This is just something like soft porn. This isn't as bad. It's the same thing. I was in vulnerable states and I would go and watch certain things that I should not have been watching.
The movie scenes.
Y'all
ain't slick.
Yeah.
I used to do it all the time. You take that movie scene, you rewind it.
Yep.
You start it, when it get done, you go back. Come on now. Y'all don't want to be real.
Yeah, and then it creates, definitely. And in that moment, those things become idols for us. We're vulnerable. They're idols, and then we begin to act in ways that are ungodly, in ways that begin to affect our spirits in a way that God did not design for our spirits to go. So when we enter into relationships, our minds are kind of twisted and kind of perverted in the state that where when we look at someone, our intentions of relationships are skewed. Like we see someone and we're like, oh, he's cute, and oh, like it would be, nice to be in a relationship with this person. And then the next thing you know it, your mind is in lust. And now you're having this fantasy of being in the bed with this person, doing what you saw on TV, doing what you saw on that videos, doing what you saw on the movie that you saw, So I really feel like it's super important now in quarantine, because I feel like super heavily, this is something that a lot of us are dealing with.
Yes.
There's this saying, I don't even think this is a scripture, but the idle mind is the devil's workshop. Like when you don't have anything going on, when you're in quarantine and you're not in worship, you're not thinking about studying your word or doing whatever, you on a game, you watch a movie, and then you're going to scroll. and see something that's ungodly, and your fantasy in your mind is gonna like take a toll on that, and then you'll begin to react in an ungodly way. And it's so easy. You guys have to guard your hearts, because it's easy for the enemy to come in and begin to pervert your thoughts and pervert your heart. And even pervert the way that you are seeing some of these people. You're going to start allowing things to happen that you did not intend on happening. People going to slide in your DMs and you're going to let them, and you know they're a dog. Like, it's certain things like that. So it's very important that you begin to set up boundaries, but begin to see God's face. I promise you, and I'm not just saying this because it's the series, but it is so much easier to battle when you have the Holy Spirit. So much easier. When you're trying to face it alone, when you try to do it by yourself, it is so hard. It is so hard to fight a battle, because that thing is strong. Lust is strong. Perversion is strong. All of this is strong. Porn, that's strong. And there's deeper things that you can go into spiritually about incubus and succubus, but we'll save that for another day. Those are strong spirits that want to see you die. They want to see you at a demise. But when you have Holy Spirit, he fights for you. You don't have to do it alone. God is for you. He sent a helper to help you get through this.
Now, here's the last thing I'll say, and then we're going to give it to Pastor Jamal to give his final thoughts. PJ1 to give his final thoughts, because I'm like, oh yeah,
OG
to give his final thoughts. But Pastor Rocky brought up guarding your hearts, and it's very important that you guard your hearts. But here's the other thing that you have to do, because a lot of us like, ooh, my heart guarded, I'm good. Yeah, okay, that's another conversation. But you can't just guard your heart. Watch this. When we're talking about lust and relationships of that nature, you also have to guard your eyes.
Yeah.
You also have to guard your eyes. What do I mean? This is for my guys and my girls. You know when you looking too long. Mm-hmm. Okay? Oh boy, walk past, your eyes lock in, you see, okay? And your mind get to wandering. Don't let men of God be wearing gray sweatpants. We're going there. We're going there, okay? Don't let baby girl be wearing some leggings. We're going there, okay? You need a covenant. You need a guard on your eyes as well, because your eyes are how your heart sees. So if you allow your eyes to see just anything, you're putting yourself in danger, and you're putting yourself in a place to where you can be more vulnerable than you should be, right? So you have to have a sense of guarding your eyes, and I think that one of the keys, or one of the ways to start this is not the solution, but one of the places to start with this is you have to purge that phone. Okay? You have to purge that phone.
Y'all, this is real.
Like seriously.
I did not have a TV in my room for the longest.
For real.
And my parents didn't know why, but I made them take my TV and put it in the basement. Same. Just because of the fact that I literally had to guard my heart. Same. And it began to get like too out of control. It was that I had to sacrifice it.
I literally put my TV in my closet, and that was around the same time that I got off the social media completely. Why? Because you have to guard your heart, but also your eyes. This is where it starts. Yeah. Your eyes is where it starts. You scrolling and you see a girl with cleavage, and that's the trigger. That's what started. You scroll and you see somebody twerking. That's what started. Yeah. You scroll and you see a dude with his shirt off getting out the pool. That's what started. I don't care if it's Michael B. Jordan. That's what started. Yeah. Okay? Because Michael B is the reason why a lot of y'all in the situations y'all in now, because he's the trigger. Yeah. Some of y'all need to unfollow Michael B. You see? Woo!
Bars.
Go on and unfollow Michael B. Jordan. A lot of y'all need to, because that's where it starts. You have to guard your eyes, right? TikTok is crazy. Okay? Y'all, TikTok is crazy. Yeah. You have to guard your eyes. Don't be afraid to unfollow, to block, to take a break, y'all. Yeah. It's okay to take a break.
Yeah.
Like, it is okay. Y'all on quarantine. It's okay to be like, yo, my phone is off. Here, can you just keep it in your room for the day? Take a break. Have a day where, like, you're not on your phone. You're not on social media. Reset. I know you think your world gonna come to an end, but reset. Because your eyes is where it starts. If you don't guard your eyes, there's no way for your heart to actually be guarded.
Yeah.
There's no way. So we're gonna bring Pastor Jamal back to give his final thoughts. We're coming to an end tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. This was really good. I know we definitely got to do a part 2 on this because this conversation was so good. So Pastor Jamal, if you have any final thoughts, any conversations that you want to or things that you want to say to us, definitely.
Yeah, I think my biggest piece, man, is I know right now it's so easy to live for the moment. And I know you see a lot of your friends that are all living for the moment, and it looks like they are having a blast and having fun. And what's so crazy is, and it's so hard, you hear this stuff when you're a teenager, but when you think about it, when I think about it now, that I look at my friends, man, my high school friends, the ones that were the coolest of the bunch, the ones that had all the stuff going for them, and some of them now alcoholics, some of them now stuck in the same old town doing the same old stuff, some of them still just, locked up in cycles because they put all their fun in the moment versus living for the future. And my encouragement to you is to live for the future, man. Don't live for today, live for tomorrow. Constantly know that your decisions that you make today are going to affect your tomorrow. You are the product today of the decision that you've made yesterday. So set yourself up, man. Write a letter to your future self and think about that person. Who are you in 10 years, 15 years? What decisions have you made that's led to you being who you are in 10 years, 15 years? I promise you, you are not that far away. I remember being in 6th grade and my 6th grade teacher saying to me, you guys are going to turn around, and before you turn around, you're going to be in high school. And I remember being like, I'm ready. I'm sick of this place. I'm ready to be in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now I'm 30 years old, 2 kids. It's crazy to think how fast life goes. And I will tell you, man, I'm a product. Look at my life. I live my life for the future. And I live my life for tomorrow. And I didn't let today block me. Now, I haven't been perfect. I'm not perfect at all, guys. Let me tell you, I've messed up a lot. But I will tell you, man, that I'm grateful to God at 16 years old. God was able to get a hold of me to teach me how to live for my future. And that's what my encouragement. When it comes to sex, when it comes to lust, when it comes to, all pornography, masturbation, relationships, you've got to think about your future self. Do that. Do your future self right.
That's so good. And I think that Pastor Jamal, PJ1, just gave us an amazing homework assignment that I think is amazing to do during this quarantine, and I want for you all to do it. I want you guys to write a letter to your future self.
Yeah.
Write a letter to your future self 10 years from now. I want you to write a letter to that person. Write a letter to them and just talk to them. Talk to them, talk to them and talk about what you wish they were doing, what you hope they're doing, how many kids you hope they have, are they married or not? What job are they working in? And use that as a reminder every time you do something or talk about something or start a relationship, anything, have that person in mind. And if you want, you can send those over to youth@allnationswa.com and we'll pray over them.
Yeah.
We will pray over those letters, just like we did your business plans and your life plans. We will pray over those letters to your 10, your 10, not I was gonna say 10-year-old, but to your future self.
Yeah.
We will we'll pray over those and partner with you, and we'll keep you accountable. We'll hold you accountable and we'll hold those for you. And you never know, 10 years from now, you might get an email from us like, hey, look at this letter we just found. Look at this letter that we kept for you. And send that over to you. I think that's an amazing project that we can have you guys do. Write a letter to your future self. and just talk to them and see whatever it is that you think they should be. Pastor Rocky, you got any final thoughts?
No, I feel like that's an awesome thing. Like we said, like we'll be praying over them. And even I know that even in our chat, like if you want to join our chat, you can do that too on Instagram. What is NYU?
Just DM us.
Yeah, just DM us, and then like
the
we'll add you to the chat. Even our group will even pray. We can just do it together as a unit because we really believe in you guys and we believe in your futures. We believe that you're gonna succeed, and we believe that tonight was not to condemn anybody. There is no condemnation at all. We're not here to judge you. We're not here to make you feel down or less than or anything like that. All of this is to set you up for success. So no matter what it is that you did or no matter what it is that you've done or just did before you got on this live, it does not matter. God is here for redemption. He's here to heal you. He's here to make you new. You don't have to live or you don't have to live in condemnation and fear of messing up, you know? I really believe that this assignment is going to help you guys see that and understand more and understand the heart of God too, because he's going to allow these things to come into fruition. I really believe it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Pastor Rocky brought that up because tonight is not about condemnation. It's not about shame. But tonight is to show you that there is another way. There is another way, because a lot of times what happens is these sexual desires and these sexual temptations become our idols and we can't see life without them, right? And a lot of times it becomes so daunting and it becomes so hard for us to see life on the other side of these things. And so tonight was simply to show you all that it is possible to live a pure life and to also show you that you have our help. We are here to help you through this journey and help you become the person that God created you to be, and to help you live in purity. And if you're one of those people that's like, well, I already gave up my virginity, all of that good stuff. Pastor PJ1 talked about it earlier. God can give you that back.
Yeah.
I gave my virginity up before marriage. God gave it back to me. I had a lot of sex before marriage. It wasn't just one time. But God gave it back to me because that's what he is. He's a giver of redemption and he's a giver of grace. He's not going to look at you like, oh, you're nasty, you're disgusting. No, he's going to look at you. He's going to say, you are my son, you are my daughter. And this same gift that I gave you before, I can give to you again. So don't live in condemnation. Don't be ashamed. But just know that this conversation was to give you hope that you have help and there is another option. If you enjoyed tonight, definitely let us know in the chat. Like I said, we're definitely gonna have to do a part 2 of this, but definitely let us know in the chat if you enjoyed tonight. Like Pastor Rocky said, if you want to be added to our Instagram group chat, shoot us a DM at NYU. Just DM us and let us know that you want to be added. This group chat is for teenagers. So if you are over the age of 18, then you cannot be allowed into the group chat. And this group chat is for our Chicago students, so that we can keep in touch with them. So go ahead and DM us if you are not already in the chat. We also want to remind you all, creative team auditions.
Yes.
We've gotten a ton of videos, so you definitely want to make sure.
More.
We want more. So send us your audition tapes, singing, rapping, acting, modeling, what else? Spoken word. Send us that stuff to youth@allnationswa.com. Send us that so we can make sure that we get you on the creative team. Another thing that we want you guys to know is that we are starting something super special for you guys. Be on the lookout tomorrow for a video from me with more information on it. But we are starting E-Tribes, guys. This is so exciting. We're starting E-Tribes, and you guys can start to sign up for those tonight. You can use the link in our Instagram bio to sign up, or we're going to also send the link out via text, and you guys can sign up for your E-Tribe. We've got E-Tribes on everything. We got an athletes E-Tribe, We got a creative writing e-tribe. We got an e-tribe on overcoming fear. We got an e-tribe on preparing for your future, which is actually crazy because we just talked about writing a letter to your future self. We have one specifically geared towards preparing for your future. We have an e-tribe for preachers. If you think you're a preacher, a communicator, if you want to get better at that, if you're a speaker and you want to get better, we have an e-tribe for that. We have an athletes e-tribe for a co-ed e-tribe, boys and girls for all athletes. It's just crazy. So definitely go to our Instagram, hit the link in our bio, sign up for your e-tribe, or be checking your text messages, because as soon as this live is over, we're going to be sending out a text message with e-tribe, with the e-tribe sign up link. And then also this Saturday is youth nights. Saturday is youth nights. Last Saturday we had our Easter service and it was insane. We are still in our helper series, so you want to make sure that you come out for that and that you invite your friends, invite as many people as possible. Listen, they're sitting in the house, so invite them out to come and watch us for a little bit, hear a great word, hear some awesome worship, and have a great time. So you definitely want to be there for that. That is all of our announcements for this Quarantine Chronicles. Catch us again next Wednesday for Quarantine Chronicles episode 3. But before you do that, catch us this Saturday for Youth Night. Can't wait to see y'all. We love y'all so much. Have a good night.